Having a data strategy in place is seen as being vital for any business today, however large or small. For some, though, it's a struggle to keep up with the fast changes in technology. Abboud Ghanem is Regional Senior Director of Alteryx, who have recently carried out data analytics for the UAE market. He is with us here in the studio. Abboud, good to have you with us. So, you know, we're hearing more and more about data being sort of like a gold mine, but our business is fully aware of its worth.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here. We recently conducted research and we surveyed over 500 UAE entities or organizations across multiple sectors. What really stood out is the fact that nearly 80% of those organizations agree that data is really critical to driving business forward and for growth. It's really important. And what's really interesting is that at the same time, what the industry is facing today as a struggle is the talent shortage today.
So what impact is technology having on the, business sector that you work in at the moment?
Yeah, so if you look at the sectors today, it's like the value of data really is not limited to one sector. So for example, this week I've visited airlines, I've been with a major airport in the region, I was with a hospital, I was also with a couple of ministries in Abu Dhabi, I was with a major retailer in the UAE. The value they're trying to drive with data is really, it's all around efficiency, productivity, better understanding of the customer, better understanding of the citizen. How do you better serve the citizen with the right services? If you're a retailer, do you want to know like what is the best product to put at the shelf at the right time, at the right place? How are your customers interacting with you? So from a value perspective, it's all about efficiencies, productivities, and more importantly, the employee morale. Because what we're seeing in the marketplace today, historically, data was limited or analytics to a small group of IT skilled people. However, we're seeing a change in the market today, which is where you hear things like citizen data scientists, that's what Gartner talk about, or the democratization of analytics, where you bring data closer to the business, to the people who are answering business questions, and move away from a gut feel decision-making process to a more data-driven, fact-based decision-making process.
So, as you mentioned, there are many different sectors that are benefiting, but which particular sector would you say is going to benefit from specific data analytics?
Yeah, talking about the UAE specifically, and based on our interaction in the market here, the government stands out, the government sector stands out, the healthcare sector stands out, the financial services sector stands out, and the retail and manufacturing as well.
So which will be the biggest technology game changers, do you think, that we're going to see over the course of the next, let's say, 5 years?
Great question. If you look at the recent report from Gartner about the future trends, what they talk about is that by 2024, around 65% of all deployed applications will be with low or almost no code at all. So what we're talking about here is the democratization of data and having over 24 million people who are stuck in Excel and mundane processing, being able to actually access data, prepare data, and answer business questions with data without the need to code.
So is it only, we're seeing the large companies, the corporations, who are getting the most out of data analytics at the moment, or should the SME sector be looking up and saying, look, we really need to do something about this and move forward?
This is very interesting because in my experience, I find that the large companies are the ones that are maybe taking the longest time to adapt, and they're seeing disruption from the new movers in the market. And what's really even more interesting is that it's forcing the large companies to try to change and disrupt. So what I'm seeing in some specific organization in the UAE, they're creating some startups within their own organization to disrupt its own status quo. Because what we're finding is that you want to change right now. You want to have your best thinkers, your employees, the best people in the business, whether they're in sales, they're finance, HR, operations, be able to access data and answer business questions with data without having to wait maybe for about a couple of months or weeks for somebody that's a coder or a data scientist to answer your question. So the size is irrelevant, and it's a very exciting time in the industry across the board.
All right, we've run out of time, but Abboud Ghanem, many thanks for coming in tonight.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.